This might be better if I was to clamp things down. Let's do that.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
All right, so I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I don't just make them. So one of my favorite channels is GarageFab. Now, Man Candy over there at GarageFab is an excellent fabricator. He does a great job of making teaching aids and explaining the concepts behind different mechanical engineering principles and things like that. So when Aaron made his control arms, he used 2 1/4-inch pieces of plate and he spaced them about 1 inch apart and put some tubing in there to hold them apart and give them kind of a 3-dimensional floating plates look. And I realized that's the same as what I'm going to be doing on our frame rails. If this is the cross section of one of our frame rails, I'm going to be wanting to put tubes through this way, and it's the same as putting them between 2 pieces of 1/8-inch plate in this case. So it's kind of the same concept, and he struggled with it a little bit, and he did it one of the ways I had considered doing it, but I didn't trust my grinding skills enough to make it look right after. So I had come up with a different plan for how I was going to approach it, and I thought, you know what, this would be a great time to check it out and see if it even works, a proof of concept, if you will. So let's try and put a piece of tubing through one of these guys and see how it comes out. All right, so what we're going to do here, because I don't have the right size drill bit, is I'm going to use my step bits and get it close enough because I'm just trying to prove this concept. Yeah, it's closer. Now I learned a lesson here. You gotta use the good clamps. This did not do the trick. All right, we'll let that cool for a little while. All right, so what we're doing here is, what I've done is I've opened up this hole bigger than it needs to be, clearly. And I also ran the step bit down until it made a bit of a bevel on there. Started drilling the next size hole, basically. The idea here being, if we keep our weld on the outside of this tube, then we shouldn't interfere with the inside of the tube and therefore maintain its shape. All right, so what we've done here is kind of pseudo-centered it. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. The idea being is that we can fill this whole opening here with weld and get plenty of penetration and plenty of bond, metal to metal bond, and to be able to sand this all flat. So let's see how that works out. I'm going to finish welding this. All right, guys, so here it is. All kind of sanded down and mostly done. Not too bad. I mean, you can see we got a nice crisp edge on the hole. That's kind of what I was going for. But you also notice it's not round anymore. I think that's because I needed to do more tack welds before I welded it. I think I misshaped the hole with the heat. And also you'll notice around the edge here is a low spot. I hit it with a DA to highlight the high spots. And it's high right in the center and around the edges. So there's a low spot around the hole. And I think that's because when I welded it, it pulled the metal down as it cooled out here. So I think the way to fix that would be to probably, well, yeah, I guess the way to fix that would be to use tack welds and keep going around it with tack welds instead of trying to do a half and a half like I did and pour all that heat into it. So that is something we could probably fix. Ovaling the hole out would probably be fixed by that same thing. If we just use tack welds all the way around it, I think we'd be better off. But I'm going to call that basically successful. Maintain the shape of our hole. It's got a clean edge on it. You could go in here with a file or something and do this, or cheat and use a countersink bit. Well, let's try that next, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. Just gave it a little kiss. Clean that up with some sandpaper. So yeah, that works out pretty good. You could make more. Obviously, we could grind it in farther. Let's try it just for the sake of it. This is a useless piece. I'm just doing it for, like I said, just to prove that the technique works. So if we mess it up, who cares? Oh yeah, that came out really nice. So there we go. I'm going to call that a win. If this was a frame rail, I wouldn't be too worried about all these low spots from the weld. I would just put a skin coat of filler over it and move on with my life. But yeah, I think if we use the tack weld technique and a little more planning, we can get that much better. Now, I didn't get it straight because our stupid drill press was moving. I didn't have it clamped well, but there you go. All right, so there it is. I'd say I'm going to call that a success. It's not pretty, but it's pretty enough for a test. So we'll apply different techniques next time we try this, and I'll have a little more confidence now in designing my frame and putting this type of thing into it. Before I wasn't sure if it would work or not. Now I know it does, but I need to fine tune a few things. So there you go, Aaron. I hope this helps you out. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care of yourselves.